9mm+P versus 32 H&R+P and snub nose revolvers. What we have today is our buffalo bore ammunition loaded with Hornady XTP bullets. Our 9mm+P is a 124 grain jacketed hollow point rated at 1225 feet per second, probably through a 4-inch semi-auto is its rating from that. Our 32 H&R Mag+P is a 100 grain jacketed hollow point rated at 1300 feet per second, probably through a longer barrel than what I'm using today. So what I am using today is our Ruger LCR and 327 Federal Magnum to test the 32 H&R Magnum+P, and our Taurus 905 to test the 9mm+P. By the way, you know, this 32 H&R Magnum is completely safe in all 32 H&R Magnums except for the original H&R brand revolvers. So don't worry about that, they'll work fine. They're not going to blow up your gun or anything like that. So we're going to see what we get though in snub nose revolvers, and especially with that 9mm, that's not a normal thing that we test in a snub nose revolver. So I'm curious what we'll get. So we're going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time. Then I'm going to do my 10% clear ballistic test. We're going to go into plain clear ballistics to see what the best possible potential of those cartridges are. You know, no denim in the way to clog a hollow point, so we can get the best potential to get hollow point expansion. We'll see what we get in plain clear ballistics. Then we'll do more of our real world simulation, which is going to be 4 layers of sweatshirt material on this first 3-inch piece that represents our pectoral muscle. After that, a 1/4-inch medium density fiberboard to represent hitting ribs or sternum. At the back of this first clear ballistics block, we'll have another 1/4-inch medium density fiberboard to represent back ribs. And you know, ballistics gel is roughly a half representation of flesh, so 3 inches and 16 inches is more like 1.5 inches and 8 inches. So it's like going through 1.5 inches real flesh, ribs, then 8 inches of soft flesh, and then ribs on the back. So we'll do a plain clear ballistics shot, then a real world simulation shot, and then I will shoot at the steel target to see what kind of practical accuracy and shootability I can get with these. So let's get started with this test. All right, first up we have our 9mm+P into our plain clear ballistics shot, our best potential shot. I put the chronograph up in front of the gel block. Hopefully I can get a read, but I'm not confident in it. So let's see what we get with our 9mm, our best potential shot here. I have no idea where that round went. That is the strangest thing I've ever seen while doing this testing. Out of all these years, where did it go? It looks like I didn't even hit the gel block. That is odd. Let me try again. (1102 feet per second). Let's do our best potential with our 32 H&R Mag+P. (1236 feet per second). We at least know what kind of velocity we're getting now. There is no bullet in the gel block. Where did it go? Let me take another shot here. 1177 feet per second. Let's go take a look. That is just odd. The bullet vanished out the side of the block. I didn't hit very close to the side there, but it curved out of the block somehow. But at least we caught our bullet on our second shot. With our 9mm+P, it looks pretty good. We have pretty good damage going on in there. And we went to about 15.25 inches of penetration. So really kind of perfect overall with that. Now with our 32 H&R Mag+P, our total path went to about 19.75 inches of penetration, and then it rolled back a little bit. It does look like there's a tad more damage in there with our 32 H&R Mag versus our 9mm. So overall, not bad performance. So let's do our real world simulation, see how they continue to compare that way. All right, our real world simulation, we have 4 layers of sweatshirt material, 3 inches of clear ballistics, a 1/4-inch medium density fiberboard, 16 more inches of clear ballistics, and then another 1/4-inch medium density fiberboard to represent hitting our back ribs. So we'll see what we get here, and our back ribs should indicate, you know, whether we pass through an attacker or not if we go through that. So here's our 9mm. 1124 feet per second. Let me set that back up and hit it with the 32 H&R Mag+P. All right, 32 H&R Mag+P, our real world simulation. Let's see what we get here with this. 1197 feet per second. Let's go take a look. All right, we have some pretty good energy dump overall looking at this. It looks pretty good. We went through our front ribs here, straight through with both of these. So we have our 9mm on the bottom and our 32 H&R on top. It looks like right about here, our 32 H&R started to tumble a little bit, but they both have really good damage overall. But they did go through the back ribs. So when we're looking here at these, we have our 9mm right here and our 32 H&R Mag right here. Not really any difference there, but it did pass through those back ribs. I was kind of thinking if we get 3 inches past those back ribs, that kind of would indicate possibly passing through an attacker. But there is a lot less flesh on the back versus a pectoral muscle, so I would say that it is a possibility these would come very, very close to passing completely through an attacker. With our 9mm, we went through 2 1/4-inch rib simulations, and we still got 20 1/4 inches of penetration. With our 32 H&R Mag, we got an even 20 inches. So very, very close performance with both of these, but it looks like, you know, in our plain gel, our 32 went a little bit too deep. But when we look at a real world simulation, we can see that losing momentum from such a light bullet weight, our 32 really doesn't penetrate any more than our 9mm. So I would say pretty similar performance overall with these. Very, very similar. So let's shoot our steel, see what kind of practical accuracy I can get with these. All right, so here's a close-up look at these bullets going through plain gel. Here is our 9mm. We actually have some pretty good expansion going on for being a little short barrel like that. Pretty big expansion for an XTP. Looks pretty impressive. Now with our 32 H&R Mag+P, we got some expansion going on. Definitely not as big as the 9mm, but a nice consistent expansion. Now going through our medium density fiber boards here, I didn't think that I saw expansion. It looked to me like completely unexpanded hollow point tips, but they're expanded. I don't know why from my view it just didn't look like expansion, but they did expand. Now our 9mm changed in size a little bit here, got a bit smaller going through our rib simulation, but we still had some good expansion, but it over penetrated a little bit because it got smaller compared to, you know, the plain gel shot. Now our 32 H&R Mag, I actually don't really, I mean, it looks a little smaller, but not by as much. It almost looks the same. So our 32 H&R Mag, with that little extra velocity over the 9mm, it seems to make that expansion a little bit more consistent after going through fabric and rib simulation. So I'd say our 32 is a little bit more consistent here than our 9mm, but both of them did pretty good. So that's a close-up look at those. All right, 14 yards from the target. I'm just going to see what kind of practical shootability these get out of these revolvers. Just kind of get a front sight picture, pop these off as fast as I think I can hit the target with these. So with the 9mm, I do know that it shoots high, so I'm going to aim, you know, at the very bottom of that steel there. So let's see what we can get here with our 9mm. I can't pull the trigger. I think we just had it kick back too much with those moon clips. Yeah, it's sticking quite a bit. Yeah, we're done. And this revolver, this ammo is just a little bit too hot because it's not wanting to do very well there. 32 H&R Mag+P. Let's see what this does. Right. Kind of stout recoil for what it is. Now here's the problem with this ammo and these guns. I'm not going to say that this is bad ammo. I'm not. Buffalo Bore has been some of the highest quality ammo I have ever used. But with these particular loads and my particular guns, I'm having some issues here. I have a spot on my hand from trying to knock these cases out. I was not able to get these cases out other than hitting the rod here, ejector rod, on the edge of a table. I could try to get these out if I protect my hand here. Yeah, they're not going to move. They will not move. I'm going to have to hit that later with a piece of wood or something like that. And I had the same issue going on here with our 9mm. I had to hit it on the edge of a table to get them out. They don't move. So you would be kind of out of luck reloading with these, and also with this kicking the moon clip back and it's not rotating now. Very, very tough rotation. So I would not recommend this ammo and these particular guns. Now with the 32 H&R Mag+P, that should have extracted though fine in this revolver, because it's, you know, there's nothing weird about it. It's an LCR, it's pretty common. So I would be very cautious about using that. You want to test the ammo before you're going to be carrying it, because you're already starting with a low capacity weapon like a revolver. Now you're not going to be able to reload it. Not such a good idea. And 9mm, you know, in this revolver, it's a little bit too hot. It's not to say it's not good 9mm, just not for this revolver. Now looking at the ballistic performance, I would say that they all did fine. We have quite a bit more penetration than typical, but getting consistent penetration is one of the most important parts of having a good cartridge. And what I'm seeing here from my testing is that looks like if this were a real world simulation, this ammo would completely pass probably right through an attacker and probably stop in their shirt like this and not go beyond it. So you're definitely going to get adequate penetration, and through a side shot you're going to get more than adequate, which is more than what a lot of rounds will give. And in 32 H&R Magnum, a lot of rounds have some issue getting adequate penetration. So I would say between the two of these, our 32 H&R Mag is definitely a better snub nose load, and it's designed for that. A lot of people are going to say, well, 9mm revolver is kind of a stupid thing, and I agree to some degree. But we needed to test it to see what would happen if we ran hotter ammo like this in it, and we're seeing a little bit too much case expansion, I should say, issues where we're not going to get extraction. So good to know what we're going to get anyways here. But ballistic performance here, when you're going down to short barrels, 9mm isn't what people say it is. It's not like better than 357 Magnum, because I'm going to say I think our little 32 H&R Mag won this if it were a competition. Interesting. So that's what you get today. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.